Welcome back to NBL Now for your Wednesday morning. It is the penultimate round in the Hungry Jacks NBL because it's round 20, which means finals are right around the corner. And as always, on Players' version of NBL Now Wednesdays, I've got him back. I've managed to track him down. He's the hottest man in the Southern Hemisphere. BC, Bryce Cotton. Man, long time no speak. How you been?
Been a little minute, man. Been looking for you, dog, but I'm good. I can't complain.
How's it all been, I guess, the recent form for the Wildcats in particular? We know you dropped those two at home that you wouldn't want to coming back off the road trip, but you bounced back the right way last weekend.
Yeah, I mean, it was like a do or die situation. Obviously, we did what we needed to do on the road. We dropped a couple back to back at home, so we knew like we really needed to try to make up for that, and to come back and get that win versus Phoenix was really huge for us. And then I feel to kind of take control of the game pretty early in Sydney as a team. That was huge because Sydney plays so well at home, so it was really good for us to rat out that win.
From a player's point of view, this part of the season, you've got one round left. And again, we look at the ladder predictor where things could shake up. So many different teams outside of probably Illawarra and Adelaide. You could really throw a blanket over where a lot of teams could end up. Do you live for moments like this? Do you get a little bit more anxious? What's the feeling like going into the last round?
Yeah, it's I guess sometimes it's fun, when you play your last game knowing it still has some significance on the ladder. Allows you to stay focused, kind of stay in playoff mode. But I wouldn't say it's what you prefer, but whatever situations come to you, you just handle it that way. But this is the hand we're dealt, so we got to stay locked in.
After that Cairns game in particular, and you talk about do or die, trying to get back on the right track and finish as high as you possibly can. We know second's still a possibility for the Wildcats. What goes on? What's the practices like? What's the mood like in a game where a lot of people expected you not just to win, but to win that game against the bottom side handily? We know they're a very talented outfit, but when you slip up like that, what's the mood like?
I mean, it's frustrating for sure, and it's just that little feeling in your stomach of like, you really feel like you dropped the ball, but that's why you never can count your chickens before they hatch. You know what I mean? Just because, you're expected to win, it doesn't mean that you're going to. Sometimes you might be expected to lose. Y'all might come out and win convincingly. So, yeah, I was taught at a young age, never count your chickens before they hatch.
It all sets up for a big game, obviously, Friday night against the Adelaide 36ers, who have been in a little bit of a down slump after some good wins for themselves. It's a big opportunity, obviously, against an opponent that, from a broadcaster's point of view, from a commentator, I'm not sure what Adelaide we're going to get each and every game. Is it harder to, I guess, scout for a team that can be so up and down, or do you just only look at potentially we're going to get their best shot? This is what we've got to look at.
Yeah, yeah. You always look at who they can be at their best because at the end of the day, no matter whether a team's rolling or they're in a slump, you only need to be better than the team you're playing against on the day. So you go into it assuming they're going to be on their P's and Q's, they're going to execute, and they're going to play to their potential. So that way, you respect them, give them the respect they deserve, and you play with the energy you need to as well.
It's always an exciting matchup. We've seen it a lot. And Kendric Davis versus you've spoke about getting to play against the elite talent. And Kendric Davis came out and spoke about how much you've meant to him just watching you fulfill your legacies, continue to add to your legacies. If there's no Bryce Colton, there's no Kendric Davis. And I know how much you enjoy those challenges. And I know how much you enjoy being part of this league with the greatness that you've done. What does it mean to see that from a competitor, knowing that for 2 hours on Friday night, I'm coming at you? But I'm sure it feels nice to hear that kind of a level of appreciation.
Yeah, I think I would say from a mental standpoint, how we approach the game, me and Kendrick are for sure cut from the same cloth. So the respect there is, above and beyond the amount of respect he got from me. I got the same amount for him, and you wouldn't want it any other way. Just because you respect a player, that don't mean you take it easy on him. You go that much harder because you respect him so much. So it's an honor to play against somebody like him. Uh, Made me feel a little old when he said, he used to watch me. I guess back when he was in high school, but it was like a full circle moment for me because when I first came to the league when I was 24, I think maybe our third game or so was against Jerome Randall, and my
Mm.
brother had put me on the Jerome Randall when I was in high school. So like I used to be a huge fan of him in college, and when he had graduated, I didn't know where he was at. So when we going through the scouting report and I saw we was playing Jerome, I just remember what it was like being in those shoes.
You give me nightmares, man. Again, chasing you around being stuck on your island was one thing, but Jerome Randall, that guy, there is, when you're stuck isolation with Jerome Randall, I can understand why he was one of your favorite players to watch. I think a lot of people forget how much of a baller he was.
Yeah, yeah, but the real ones don't forget. They
Yeah.
know Jerome was a player, always was, always will be. But that's how the game's supposed to be played, and I think that's the cool thing about this league. Of the level of talent that we have is crazy. But then when you start to see a lot of familiar faces, and then they start to stick around the league, you have a chance to start to overlap with people that maybe you watched when you was younger, or people, if you stay in the league long enough, people might have watched you. Now they got a chance to play against you. So it's really cool to have that interaction and to have those full circle moments because yeah, that's just how basketball go, I guess, if you're around it long enough.
And you continue to talk about the talent that we have in this league, one of the best leagues in the world, how highly respected it is. But it's not just the new talent we get in, but it's guys like yourself who have come down here and stayed here for a lot longer. And we're not going to get into the citizenship thing with you because that's in a different situation. And we all wish it was handled so much different. But the fact that even guys like Tyler Harvey, even we've heard
Yes.
a little bit now with potentially Kristian Doolittle, if that door will be open if he wanted to stay to be able to retain high level talent who want to thrive in this league for a long time, much like you've done and built on legacies. It just proves how incredibly special this league is in the world.
Yeah, it's amazing. And obviously you always give respect to the people that came before you because they're the ones that help, pave the way. But I think with where this league is at, um, the guys that came before us did a tremendous job. But I think also with what Kesselman has done, as well as the talent that's come into this league, it's never been like this. It's tip top. And, I feel sometimes some of the people who hold the good old days, like they're just kind of afraid to say it, but the facts are the facts, and it's just a testament to this league, and it makes everybody look good, and I feel like it's great for the fans as well. Like you'll have whether they're local or foreigners, you'll have guys that have come from the NBA come here, or they might leave here and go to the NBA, and for these fans to be able to have these interactions if they come across some of these players for a couple seasons, then they get to see their growth when they go to the NBA or, vice versa. They come over here. That's cool for them because some of these fans are young kids and they get to see these players grow as they're understanding more and more about the game. And I just think that interaction with how global this league has become, uh, I think it's understated for sure.
Do you ever have the run-ins with some players? Maybe they're fresh faces. We've seen Kendric Davis. There's been rumors about a long-term extension. There's been also some whispers maybe Montrez would be open to staying. A fresh import that comes down, like Kristian Doolittle, like Kendric Davis, some other guys who talk about maybe to you how much they love the league. Do you ever sit there and say, I came here not knowing what was next. I'm still here. Like there's this the little part about the league. You say you want to stay around. There's a reason for it. This is a lovely place to be.
Yeah, I always kind of have a little laugh to myself whenever I've had a conversation with, somebody that's playing in this league and they're thinking about just continuing to stay out here because they talk about how much they love it. And in my mind, I'm just like, I already know you preaching to the choir, and that's the thing about Australia, the quality of life and all that. We know the league speaks for itself, but it'll just sneak up on you. And before you know it, years have gone by and you're still right here on this big old island.
And we love it, and we love watching it every time it happens. Looking forward to this weekend in the finals. And you continue every time we've spoke this season, you talk about the parity of this league. You've been here long enough. You've seen final series shape out the way they do. Can you ever recall a top six going into the postseason where truly, if anyone plays well at the right time, they can be a champion this year? I can't recall. There's always normally two teams who you could probably separate from the pack. I don't recall an open top six where if they play well, anyone can win like this in a very long time.
Yeah, yeah, I've never really seen it. And obviously the plan with taking in the top six is relatively new, but even when they only took the four,
Mm.
you still kind of knew the
Yeah.
two teams that was going to be in the grand final. But I haven't given you many hot takes, but I think the few I have aged pretty well. And I think a few months back I told you I don't think the seedings are going to matter for the playoff run. It comes down to who's going to be the healthiest. And I don't think that that's any different. Like, whoever's going to be the healthiest, I think that's going to be a big, big factor in how far teams go.
I mean, to be fair, last time we probably spoke and you were talking about it doesn't matter whether you're 9th and 10th. If you don't show up as a first team and then Cairns go and beat Illawarra twice, Brisbane beat Adelaide. We know what happens when Cairns played you. It's fun to be part of. I'm sure it's always fun to compete. The other big news, Bryce, before I let you get along with your day, obviously coming out that if things fall your way in terms of finishing third, but the game won't be at RAC Arena. And as disappointing as that would be for the Red Army, Challenge Stadium with the history there and having a smaller venue, you've played in many smaller venues, but adding that kind of level, I guess, of energy for the fans that would be lucky enough to go, it would be a very special environment to be part of for whatever the playing game would be, 3rd seed or 5th seed.
Yeah, and I feel like even if that's not the case, you got to make it special because, when it's playoff time, you have no time to cry over spoiled milk, whatever surprises or obstacles come up. It's unfortunate, but it is what it is, and you end up making the best of it. So who knows if we end up faced with that situation? Maybe it's a blessing in disguise. Who knows? But we definitely can't go into it thinking, what if or why did this have to happen? I think we need to have the approach like what you're talking about.
The big game on Friday sets it all up against Adelaide, and with getting key guys back, Dylan Windler's back, Keanu Pinder's playing well. We've seen Ty Webster come back in with that spark plug. Peaking at the right time is another thing you've told me is so important into winning a title. Do you think you're right there where it's like our best basketball now, we know what it is, we lock in for this, and we can do anything in this postseason?
That's the mentality for sure. But at this point, with how the season has panned out for all the different teams, it's no more time for talking. You got to go out there, they roll the ball out, and, you just see what everybody's about. And hopefully you're the last team standing.
And quickly, I do have to say, you maybe can shed a bit of light on this. What happened to Kristian Doolittle when he was injured? And why is he an absolute bucket? Was he always a bucket like this? This man is putting up some serious numbers.
Yeah. Man, I don't know. Like you said, just clicking at the right time. I feel it's just one of those stages in the season where all the guys are pretty comfortable and just we're all peaking at the right time and we're all complimenting each other's game. So it just makes everything flow organically to where it doesn't look forced. So hopefully it keeps up though. That's for sure. But it's what Dew has been doing. It's not a surprise, not to any of us on the squad, not at all.
He's fun to watch. The Wildcats are fun to watch. As you said, looks like peaking at the right time. BC, it's good to have you back on, man. Thank you.
No worries, man. Appreciate you.
Well, good luck on Friday, and then good luck on Monday, the awards night. I'm not going to get you to talk on it, but we're heading towards. Legacy continues to build. Whatever will be, will be. I know that's your motto, but you've had an outstanding season to date, and good luck for the rest of it.
Appreciate you, man. See you soon.